Hi, everyone. We are back.
Curiously Uncultured.
Yeah. Curiously Uncultured podcast. So, last time y'all saw me as a mommy, but with a baby in my belly. And now she's sleeping on my chest. But today's episode is on the culture of motherhood. I still got mommy brain, as we see. And because we're talking about motherhood, no one else could have answered these questions other than the grandmama, Mama Kim. We have Mama Kim here today. So I'm going to be asking her so many questions, probably just a few, but so much depth in the questions because we're going to articulate what's the difference between the culture of motherhood as a new mom versus a seasoned mother of three, different generations, different cultures, and what that looks like, everyone coming together in one big, happy, loud, sleepy little family. All right, Mama.
Everybody is sleeping.
Are you sleepy,
Everybody's
Mommy?
sleeping. Yeah, I was sleepy earlier, funny enough. When you guys were taking your nap and I was sitting there and I was like, I need to take a nap too.
Listen, baby and daddy napped. You and me ain't
Yeah.
napped.
Well, I didn't know. You were in the room. I was just like, I'm just leave her in peace. And that's one of the first things I think it's really important for everybody to understand is when to sit still and let go. It's okay to sit still. It's okay not to do all these runaround things so people can see you. My husband calls it, he says, you want to do the see me, see me. And I think at this age and this stage in our lives, we work really hard.
Yeah.
And we play well enough. But there comes a time when you have to actually just rest. And it was so nice to have the luxury to sit outside watching the cruise ship sail away and not feel the need to push us to do anything.
Right. I always say, and this is something that I've had to tell me a lot. We got Dad on the sideline over there. But I was always told rest is a requirement, not a reward for hard work. And a lot of the things that we do day to day, whether they seem small and mundane, I feel like as moms, could be deemed boring, but it's still hard work. Like, I got to make sure she don't, go off the rails, eat her hands off. Now we're at the mouthing stage.
It is hard. It is continuous. It is a very, very, very all-consuming thing to be even a borderline decent parent.
Yeah.
Even being a borderline decent parent requires so much. In the early stage here, where she's fixed to your chest, basically, it can be frustrating and it can be tiring, yet godly to be blessed to be in the position of being able to say, you know what, I can just stop and sit here. I can do this. That's a blessing, but it's a result of I won't say careful planning, but in this case, I think all things worked together for the good of those who have served the Lord.
Yes.
And so everything has come together anyhow, in spite of not maybe planning this or planning that. And so our circumstances as they are still allow you the luxury of being able to not have to get up.
Amen.
And have to go to work.
Right.
And have to be tired and frustrated and dealing with things that some moms deal with. We can pray for them. I don't know what else to say.
Right.
Other than, who was it? It's not Judge Judy. The pretty judge, not the Judge Judy's not pretty. I don't necessarily like Judge Judy. But there's a black judge. I just can't remember her name. She's
I know who you're talking about, though. I don't remember her name either.
She met with us at my church once. And I remember we were doing a women's conference, and she said, I first thing I have to say is, young ladies, when you have the first one, yes, we understand. We have that baby. She said, but you don't have to have the second in this generation. You
Right.
don't have to have the third. She
Right.
says, because you make things so much harder on yourself.
Right.
And so, for those moms who may not have the luxuries and may not have some of the same blessings, we feel you and we pray for you, because I grew
Right.
up that way. My mom didn't have that. She didn't have the luxuries. She didn't have the blessings. And I think I turned out all right.
Oh, yeah.
But she did teach me, to be very, very mindful and careful in the planning of my family. And so we do have to be very mindful. There's not a lot of reason,
Right.
I think, nowadays
Yeah.
for the moms to have to bear this blessed burden. But, we just have a lot of things that we need to be considering nowadays.
Yeah.
You
I think
know.
it's also still very much like culturally ingrained, the number that you end up having too. Because some people, some families will say the more the better, and other families will be like, we're one and done. So what do you feel, I think, from when you first became a mother
Ooh,
to
Jesus.
present day?
Help me from cussing.
No, but seriously, what do you feel like from the time you were a mom to now, apart from the blessings and everything, what is more instinct and like, okay, I trust my intuition, I want 1, 2, 3, versus culturally, you need to fill the house, and now the eldest daughter is going to raise the next ones, and then how does that go into your journey with motherhood? How has it affected it?
You know what the blessing of, I'm the youngest
Okay.
of like 11, and my mother only gave birth to 5 of those. But I still have an older sister, Leela, if you're watching when this comes out. I have siblings that created this wonderful dynamic, this wonderful household. And that's how we got those kids my mother didn't have, because she adopted other people's kids, as I have. I got those 2 extra ones, Jazzy and Jerron. But having all that lovely family taught us. And it's funny because all those siblings, they were the ones who said, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Don't do that.
Okay.
If you need protection, you tell me. If
Okay.
you don't want to tell mom, you tell me. Because somebody has got to get up out of this neighborhood
Right.
without a bunch of babies. Somebody has got to get up out of here and be have an easier path to success than what we had, because all of my sisters had children and all of them had degrees. They ended up getting degrees, but it was 10 times harder. And so,
Doing it simultaneously.
right, I think in this generation, family is not necessarily who you give birth to.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah.
And the blessing of intelligence, the blessing of the desire for I needed to be independent of the first and the 15th. Y'all who grew up with that, who can understand that, I hope you really get what I'm saying. I needed to be independent of the first and the 15th. That's how ingrained those dates were to me. Because the first and the 15th were the only days where we could actually go, and we could go to Tom's Hamburger and get a pastrami and get a hamburger. We could get some extra snacks, because that's when the AFDC came in. And so the desire and the drive to not have the dependence on the mercy of the landlord and the mercy of the supermarket, where if you didn't tear the food stamps out right, they could tell you they weren't going to take those.
Yeah,
food
they were
stamps.
invalid.
Yeah, because
Yep.
they had to come out the book the right way. I was real smart, and I saw all that, and I just remember I used to cuss so bad in not just in my head, but in reality. But I was angry because it felt like somebody had put chains on us.
Yeah.
and it wasn't fair that
Yep.
we had to behave that way. So I resolved within myself, when I have children, I'm going to make sure I can pay for daycare. I'm going to make sure I can pay for these things.
Right.
And with your husband, you know, we thought we would have these great jobs in New York City, and even we lived in New Jersey, worked in New York. The cost of daycare, when I found out when I was pregnant, I started looking, trying to make sure, let me see how much this is going to cost so I can finish my school and finish working and going to school. And oh my God, even 30 years ago, it was like almost $800 a month.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just crossed my legs. I was like,
So, okay, so it was definitely just your early on life, even as a child, was shaped the way you viewed discipline, whether it was with yourself or going
all
into
those
motherhood.
kids, all those people in the house.
So would
Think
you say
about
it's
11, all those people always in and
11
out
is
of
a
a
lot.
2-bedroom.
How many bathrooms?
One.
Right. No, we're not doing that.
Oh, it was so bad.
Huh?
It was so bad. And I'm the runt of the litter. That's why, I hope you can see now why I'm comfortable sleeping anywhere. Mm-hmm. I can sleep up under anybody. Mm-hmm. Because
you always had
I was
to.
the runt. So I
to.
was always sleeping up under somebody, sharing a bed with somebody until probably about 12 or 13. Finally, everybody was out the house except for maybe Stephanie. And when we finally got into another apartment in LA, where it was 2 bedrooms, but we had bunk beds, and it was just the 2 of us. Mm-hmm. And I had my own bed, And I mean, those kind of circumstances make you rethink having a bunch of kids when you have sense. Some things I just don't get. I was raised up in the same neighborhoods with the same girls, with the same niggas in my ear. Same niggas was in my ear that was in their ear.
Right.
And I don't have baby for what? What? Have what? How you gonna pay for that? You selling, you doing this, you doing that. I really thought about those things. And, you watch your siblings, you watch your elders, you watch all the people ahead of you and around you. And you realize, I don't want to live like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The 1st and 15th, girl. The 1st and 15th. Mm-mm. I don't want to live I don't want to go to school mode. And we can't afford anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to, do you know at one point my nickname was Patches? Because our clothes came from the secondhand store.
Yeah. So you had to do a whole bunch
and we
of patchwork.
Patched them with real, we put patches on them.
Yep. You had to.
I think that was 4th, 5th, 6th grade, somewhere in there. Patches.
And that sticks with you.
It does stick with you, but the funny thing is I didn't really tell anybody that they were teasing me like that because I had real violent siblings.
They want to get back in blood.
Oh, and I had
and then that's all you had.
Siblings were real protective. Very protective, very violent. And so especially the girls. They didn't play. And I didn't have to worry about being bullied most of the time because the reputation went around with the families. And, of course, my mother held a gun to a dude once who was found under somebody's bed. And so that didn't help either. Yeah,
but there's nothing mom won't do.
Mama didn't play. I got to hear about that in school. That, your mama was the one that held the gun on, I think the guy's name was Chucky. Sorry, Carol, you can't understand anyway because you got dementia. But I'm just saying, all those things come together to make you close your damn legs.
Yeah, I think it's important. I think, even candidly, when I met my husband, your son.
You were not a little girl, though. You was old.
I was old, but it was funny. Our whole, first date, everything, he was in a stage in his life where he was like, yeah, I'm not My legs are closed.
I'm on
My
my
legs are
350. I'm on my 335th day of no weed.
No, he was serious.
No.
And that was something he later
masturbating,
got attacked for.
No.
Once we got together.
Something,
It was a lot of no's.
No, it was a lot
no
of
this, no that, no this, no that, no this. And then I came around and it was like, yes. And I was like, okay, so if it's yes, you're done and I'm done. And he's like, okay. And then immediately the Lord was like, no, you're not. Actually start over. Actually here. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And for me, I remember he's like, okay, I'm gonna bring you to Texas. I was like, you gonna make me meet your parents and tell them we're having a baby at the same time? Because it happened so fast. And I remember feeling like, okay, I hope this doesn't shape the way I feel as a mom. Because I'm going to have to tell her this story one day. Like, yeah, I met your mother-in-law and told her that you existed already. And he was like, no, it's fine. And I'm in my mind like, I'm getting on this plane. And he told me his parents are pastors. Oh, my Lord. Like, burned my card, burned everything. And then Pops, go outside with your mother.
That was funny because my husband, he didn't get it. He didn't really get it. He
thought
shock.
We were joking.
He was in shock.
He thought we were joking.
He's just like, oh my God, they're joking. Timmy's called, he used to call every April 1st with some stupid joke, and quite often it was, she's pregnant, Mom. She's pregnant. Do you remember that?
That's why I made
you
sure
don't remember calling with that stupid joke? And I was
you
like,
made that joke before? Hold on a second.
He did.
At
least 3 times. I'm so serious. At least 3 times. And I remember one time I was so tired. I was like, you just going to deal with that yourself. And I hung up
That's
the phone.
why her reaction was like that. She was like, I ain't raising my blood pressure for this.
No. There's some points in life where you have to recognize, and this is for a good message for everybody.
Yeah.
Recognize what's a real problem. Mm-hmm. We have these are black men, right?
Yeah.
He didn't come home and say, I'm in jail. It wasn't a call from jail.
Right.
It wasn't a call that he was dead.
Thank God.
It wasn't a call that
something grave had happened, something detrimental.
Tangling with the police that, there's so many things that can go really, really wrong in a black man's life. One slip up is something you can adjust to and deal with. You can deal with that. Mm-hmm. You may want to check that camera. Something weird just happened in it. You just never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
I was shaking in my boots.
If you're
I was
telling
like,
the truth, if you're playing around.
Yeah. I didn't believe it. I sat there with that stick, I kid you not, for like 25 minutes in silence. I called him a liar. I had taken like 5 tests or something like that.
Girls, y'all don't take them stupid stick tests, okay?
Yeah, go get a blood test. Go get a blood test.
He was a negative stick test. He was 10 negative stick tests. Emmanuel was.
Here's the result of my 4 negative tests and 1 positive.
I did not know I was pregnant. My mother, God rest her soul, she died when I was pregnant with Emmanuel, right? And she's so overbearing sometimes, but she kept saying, girl, you pregnant. You pregnant.
She knew.
And I was like, I'm bleeding.
I did too.
She said,
Lies.
you can bleed when you're pregnant. And I was just
My mama said that too.
I'm like, I wish she would just shut up. Because I had my hands so full. Mm-hmm. And of course we were trying because I had my 5-year plan. I had a 5-year plan. Babies go to school in the 5th year, right? So when Timmy turns 5, I can have another child in daycare because he'll be going to free school. Mm-hmm. And so that was I worked those numbers out for myself because logically, I was at home alone. When you have a spouse and because I was also in school, but when you have a spouse who has a high power position, a demanding position, whether it be, any C-suite executive, any high-ranking entertainer, any professional athlete, any high-level licensed professional, physician, lawyer, CPAs who are running firms, all those level of professionalism require absence because you got to work. And so I knew, I knew at that time I have to figure this out. And so I said, well, number one, I can't have those 6 kids I thought I wanted to have because I wanted a big old brood. And I was like, that ain't gonna happen. Daycare costs too much, and I'm by myself, and I can't do all this. And so that was the 5-year plan. And
Right.
so, you plan, and you have to have good sense. And so, how you gonna pay for daycare?
Yeah. I think that's another differentiator between girl, where are you trying to run?
She throwing her head back again.
Between these generations, I feel like, your generation, it was more intentional to plan for a family, and then my generation, it happens. Like it happens or it doesn't.
I don't know these young girls now. I don't know.
Listen, now is a resurgence.
These girls between 25 or 20 and 35, honey, a lot of them don't have no kids.
No.
And they're not worried.
They either don't. I feel like our generation,
I'm like, wow.
they also either really want them or really don't. Or just really can't.
Or they're just waiting. And I always tell them, it's okay to wait. Mm-hmm. We have the technology to do quite a bit now, so it's okay to wait. And so people have to take that pressure off of our young. If you don't have the money, the unattached, no strings attached money to pay for the daycare, to pay for everything that she's going to need, if, you're encouraging your kids to have all these kids, who going to take care of them kids?
Right.
Who going to take care of those kids? And so, nowadays, it's just not necessary. I'm so glad, like Jazzy. Jazzy's got the one. And he's 2. And, she's still trying to study for all of her medical board exams and stuff. And it's a lot. And her husband works. But
Right.
it's a lot. And I told her, I said, I told her she shouldn't have had the first one, but he's here. He was coming, so it was what it was. There's another one.
Yep.
There's another one. And so the brilliance is she can see, this is a lot.
Yeah.
She's got the one. He's a very smart handful. Mm-hmm. And I don't see, thank God, I don't see no more babies on the horizon for at least a couple years.
Yeah.
And she'll be 35. She'll probably be 35, 36 by the time she has another one. And that may be it. And that it is what it is. If she get blessed, she get twins, fine if she want to have a couple. But in the meantime, I don't believe in pressuring these kids
Right.
to do things that you're not willing to support them in.
Right.
You got to support them. If you want to have all these kids, what you going? You paying for daycare? You buying all the stuff? Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I remember. Now we were blessed with Abby because we had better finances with Abby, so that's why Abby is such a wonderfully spoiled princess. Because
we love
Abby, we had a lot more.
Together.
But with Timmy, we were still. I was in college. He was a resident, and it was so tight. I mean, clothes were so expensive.
Right.
Some of our when we first got our Nordstrom card, I remember I went way up in the debt trying to find stuff on clearance and get him things because the clothes were expensive. And you remember that. I remember that difficulty.
Yeah.
I remember the pain, which is why I am now having fun
Being
shopping
a
for her.
grandparent.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, hello.
Oh yeah.
Hello.
No, we're definitely gonna have to talk
And
on
so
that more.
I have fun with that. That's why I'm convinced that we have
don't
to
be showing your
help.
food to the world now, girl.
Yeah, we gotta help. But she's trying to eat. She's trying to eat. She's trying to eat, y'all. And breastfeeding is good, moms.
Yeah.
Don't let nobody tell you it's not. Breastfeeding is free. It's convenient.
Yeah. Do not let them.
And it's very good for the baby.
Listen, if there is no actual medical reason where your child cannot breastfeed, or if you were not able to pump enough prior, not every woman's blessed with that. So if that's your situation,
nobody cares. You were blessed. You were blessed.
If you have to, fine. If you don't have to and you're just being lazy, don't.
Well, think of it this way. Okay, when it comes to breastfeeding, it's not even lazy. It's most likely, unless you have a real medical reason,
Right.
it's stupid
To
because it's the most convenient thing in the world. You've traveled, you've been out of the country several times now.
Yep.
And oh my God, trying to deal with making bottles, heating up bottles,
The parts,
and
the
all that stuff.
sterilization.
Yeah, sterilizing while you're traveling,
Getting
or whatever.
water bottles if you're traveling international.
Honey, that breast is ready at all times. It's the perfect temperature at all times.
And all you got to do to refill it is eat.
Yeah,
Good food.
everything you need is there at all times. So, you know,
Look at
it's
her. You
just something
smiling?
to think about. You know,
Smiling.
I like that part because it's a given.
Yep.
Breastfeeding is a given,
Breast
and
is best.
it's not convenient. And like now, y'all, I'm so comfy because I don't have to have on a bra, right? And you can't really tell a whole lot because the breastfeeding didn't kill them. But guess what?
Oh, no, don't say that.
It did. It killed them. It killed them. But it's not about these because you can pay for nice lifted stuff. So, you can pay for perkies.
Yep.
We saw one in the elevator a few minutes ago.
Yeah, we did.
I was staring. I was looking.
Girl to girl, mom to mom.
I was waiting for those things to move.
Breastfeeding mommy to
She got
woman.
in the elevator and I was looking. I was like, oh, they're not even moving. I'm like,
I'm
they
gonna
don't
look.
move left or right. They were just
Respectfully.
They were sitting straight perfectly, and I was like, oh my gosh, those are add-ons. And so you can add them on. You can pay for that later, y'all. Take care of your babies. Don't worry about your own body that's going to age because
it's gonna age anyways.
Breastfeeding. It's look at that. Look at that. She's beautiful. She's healthy. She's happy. All these big boys and kids I have, they were breastfed, and they turned out as perfect as possible, barring any genetic issues. Because why have a child if you're not willing to give everything you humanly can to make them? And I don't mean spoiling. I mean just the things that you should provide: discipline, a decent home, a decent atmosphere, schooling. There are some things that a parent should be willing and able to provide once you've had that kid. And so, it's gonna, sometimes you have to give up some stuff, and it's gonna take a sacrifice, but they didn't ask to be born. They didn't, knock on your, consciousness and say, hey, you need to bring me into this world. We make choices. And most of us, actively made the choice. And so, it's not an accident. Look at that. Boy, tell me, you can't tell me Jesus is not real. Look at that smile.
Yeah. Look at her daddy. Come, daddy.
Every time I see that smile, I know Jesus is real.
Yes.
See? Say, hey. Yes. See? Look at breastfed.
Oh my God.
That's breastfed.
Hi.
Yeah.
We'll be right out.
Breastfed.
Okay, we'll be right out.
Yeah, we'll be
So,
Yeah, we're gonna pick everything up and leave right now.
So, guess what? We're going to terminate this conversation because we just got nice kisses and we got everything good. So we're going to say good night and be blessed. And we will see you next time.
Yeah.